Hey, what's going on, everybody? Tavares here. Just wanted to leave a little bit of, advice or so. We did a poll on Instagram and Facebook on how many people, are used to fasting. They understand the concept, if they plan on starting their year with it. And we also made a post on Facebook, and a lot of people were saying it would be beneficial because fasting is not something they're used to. And I thought it would be beneficial because fasting is not something I'm great at. I'm not a, guru of anything. We all want to grow. We all want to get closer to God, so a lot of people mentioned it would help them. So that's why I'm making this video. And there were a lot of people that also, found a way to argue about growing spiritually in the comments, so to each their own. If this video is not for you because you don't believe in fasting, by all means, feel free to skip to the next video. But for those who want to grow, I'm praying that this can help you. So let's just dive right into it because I don't want to be long. So what is fasting? I know a lot of people have their own definitions of it, but first and foremost, I want to give you what is translated as according to the Bible. So it says to abstain as a religious exercise from food and drink, either entirely if the fast lasted but a single day, or from customary choice nourishment if continued several days. And another concordance that I'm looking at says abstinence from the lack of food, or whether it's voluntary or religious. Specifically, the fast of Day of Atonement is one that, it brings up in the definition. So I know a lot of people, they mention a lot of things about fasting, but fasting is staying away from food and liquids, so it's really about eating. I know a lot of people, they do fast like, media fast. A lot of people aren't going to be on social media for the next few weeks. A lot of people, when they fast, they don't watch any TV. When they fast, they don't go certain places. And all those things are great. I think all of them can help you. But a biblical fast means staying away from food. So me, I am obviously not a doctor. So please speak with a doctor before staying away from food. But for those who actually have no physical issues or ailments or anything like that, I encourage you to push yourself, because you think if you skip breakfast, you're going to die. And honestly, you will feel that way, but nothing is going to happen to you. Jesus went on 40-day fast, and people are going to say, he's God in flesh. Yeah, but other people have gone on 40-day fast. Some people have gone on longer, trying to prove how spiritual they are. But fasting is not going to kill you. If you have problems, speak with your physician. But go ahead and push yourself. I believe that those fasting from media and all those types of entertainments are beneficial. I believe, especially in today's generation, we need to find a way to commit ourselves to God and to stay away, from the things of this world that can easily distract us, because Facebook isn't a demon, but spending hours on it is not getting you closer to God. Or Netflix and all these things, they may not be satanic, but the closer you are to them and the further you are away from God shows the issue in our walk with God. So a lot of people who are arguing, saying it's not needed. But I want to read this verse to you, quoting Jesus now. In Matthew 17:21, it says, Jesus is saying, howbeit, this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. So the context of that verse is there was a man possessed with a devil. They brought it to the disciples, and the disciples couldn't cast the demon out. Jesus is like, you perverse and faithless generation, how long do I have to be with you? Like, why don't you guys get this concept by now? So Jesus cast the demon out, and they're like, God, why, Jesus, why couldn't we do it? Like, what was going on with us that we couldn't do it? And he said, because of your faith. You couldn't do it because of your faith. And then he went on, and as he's talking to them, he says, but this kind comes out by prayer and fasting. So Jesus is letting them know this thing is attached to your faith. You can't say you're a Christian and you're not having a prayer life. You're not having a fasting life. But he lets them know this type of demon, this type of issue only goes out because you took the time to pray and you took the time to fast. So a lot of us, we wait until we lose the job to fast. We wait until there's no money, so there's no food in the fridge. Now we want to fast. We wait until the sickness comes to fast for prayer. And God is saying, no, if you fast now, you have authority when the issue arises. If you fast now, you can rebuke the demon when the situation comes along your way. If you fast now, I can rebuke that stronghold, whatever the issue may be. So many of us, we need to understand that fasting is essential. Like, it's not something only your pastor should do. It's not something only the deep people should do, the radical people should do. No, but we all should take the time to fast, because Fasting puts us in a place that we have spiritual authority, because you may be filled with the gift, you may be filled with the gift of the Holy Ghost, but you will have no authority over the devil if you have no relationship with God. So fasting doesn't anoint you more, but it allows the anointing to flow out of you because it subdues your flesh. Fasting is a time where you consecrate yourself from food, from the things of this world, to submit yourself to the will of God, submit yourself to the plan of God. Because many of us, we grow spiritually, but our flesh is growing as well. So you may be anointed, but you're still cursing people out. You're anointed, but you're still not breaking up in certain relationships. You're anointed, but you're still in bondage to the world. But if you are growing spiritually, you're fasting, you're allowing your flesh to die, to take them time to kill whatever is inside of you that is unlike God. And I know a lot of people also don't understand this, but fasting is something that is mandatory. I'm not saying if you don't fast, you're hellbound, but it's something that is mandatory for every believer. Listen to this verse where Jesus says this. He says, "Moreover, when you fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thine head, wash thy face, that you appear not unto men to fast, but unto your Father which is in secret. And your Father which sees in secret will reward you openly." So Jesus lets them know a few things I want to point out before I end this video. Number one, he said when you fast, not if you fast. So God expects every one of us to fast, to take some time away from food, take some time away from all of our earthly desires and the things that we so desperately need, to take some time away from it, step away, skip a meal, and spend time with him, because it brings us closer to him. So I don't think that sounds optional. If somebody says, when you go to the store, they're not saying, "Hey, are you going to the store today?" They're saying, "No, you're going to the store, but when you get there, I need you to do this." So Jesus didn't make it sound optional, in my opinion. You can interpret that however you choose. The second thing, he said, anoint your head, wash your face, or whatever. So a lot of people, when they go on fast, they want you to know they're on fasting. They look sad. They're trying to get the attention. Jesus is saying, "Nah, wash your face. Look like nothing is going on. The same way you look Sunday morning, your Sunday best, look that way." If they think you're going to the store, they think you're going here, there, look the same way. Don't do stuff to get attention, because that means you're trying to get attention from people rather than get God's attention. And God is saying fasting is not about looking spiritual to others, but it's about drawing closer to him, because James 4:8 says, if we draw near to him, he will draw near to us. So don't walk around like you're in bondage and church said 21 days of fasting. Oh Lord, and you're looking homeless. Come on, cut it out. God is saying, if you want more of him, don't try to please other people. And the last thing is, if you do this secretly, God will reward you openly. A lot of people on Facebook argue because they're like, "Oh, you're talking about fasting. That means you're trying to get attention." No, I'm not trying to get attention. I just know a lot of people follow our page that don't understand fasting, or they don't participate in it because, it's just confusing, or what's the purpose? But I want you to understand that if you take the time to do this secretly, God will bless you openly. If you take the time to abstain from the things of this world, to get closer to God, God will always bless you. You cannot outgive God. You cannot give God your time and God not give you blessings. You can't give God more of your spirit and God not pour out more of his spirit on you. God is always going to outgive you. So you may feel as though, "Man, I don't know how to skip a meal." Bro, just skip breakfast. Start there. Skip breakfast. You can't skip a meal? Okay, try the Daniel fast, just don't eat meat or something, meat or sweets and things like that. And just have some fruits and spend time with God in prayer, spend time with God in his word, read some spiritual books that'll help you grow, listen to some anointed sermons that'll edify you, things along that nature, and just take some time to consecrate to hear from God. That's really what fasting is, to separate yourself so you can hear from God. Because prayer is us talking to him, but he wants to speak to us in his word as well. He doesn't want to just hear about our prayer list. He wants to speak to us as well. So take the time to do that. People are going to still say, and the goal is not to say, fast and do this, fast and do that. No, I want you guys to understand that fasting is something you're doing in secret. You're not going to look like everyone else, and you don't need to. The goal is to hear from God, to get closer to God, and ultimately, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So if you have questions about fasting, please drop it in the comments. I'm going to probably post it on YouTube as well, but this is going to be on Instagram and Facebook because those are the people that really want to hear it. And I pray that this encourages you. And, at least if you don't do 21 days like some super spiritual people, you do one. You skip one meal. Skip one day. Try to go 3 days. Try to go a week. You don't know. But God will do something great if you put him to the test. This is a book that I read some years ago, Fasting by Jensen Franklin. I'm going to be diving in it, to help me with my next fast. And I pray that, he's not encouraging me to endorse him. No. So I'm just saying, it's a good book that I've read on fasting. And if you know of any good books you've read on fasting, drop it in the comments because it'll probably help someone else. And I love you guys and I pray that you'll be blessed. Enjoy 2021. Peace.